Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name is Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to talk about these Battle Arena decks. Now, we've talked about them before, and I've told you the vague content. I told you that they were going to have 2 foil GXs. A Prism Star card, 6 foil basic energy. I told you about the tournament level trainers. I told you about alternate art supporters. Nothing about this is new. We know they're coming out on the 4th of October. However, the deck lists have now been revealed, and ladies and gentlemen, they are phenomenal. As in, expect them to be very popular, expect them to sell out. How are they so good? Level of good. They really are awesome. So if we start off with the Rayquaza deck, we know we're getting 2 Rayquaza GX. That's not particularly new. It's a Rayquaza GX deck, but bearing in mind Rayquaza's a great Pokemon that's been good ever since it was released, and I'm totally on board with this. We know that a Prism Star is going to be Tapu Koko Prism Star. There was a chance it was going to be Shaman, but it is confirmed to be Tapu Koko, and this is awesome. Tapu Koko is an absolute staple in every Lightning deck right now, like Pikachu and Zekrom. Will be moving forward. This is an easy way to get it. We know that we are getting a 3-2-3 line of Magnezone, which now, we've only got the deck list, which I should mention come from PokeGuardian.com, an amazing website I love very much and you should be checking out. We only have the names of Pokemon, but it's fairly easy to figure it out. It's got to be the Magnezone from Forbidden Light that accelerates energy. The whole point is you're supposed to make these competitive decks, so Rayquaza needs lots of basic energy to smash, so it's got to be the Magnezone that lets you attach more basic energy. Similarly, we've got a 2-2 Zebstrika line. I am assuming it's the good Zebstrika from Lost Thunder. We don't know, there is one in Team Up. But if these are to be believed, and we're told they're tournament level trainers, we're told they're supposed to be good decks, so the Zebstrika that discards your hand and draws 4 cards, that makes sense. Now there's also 2 copies of Zapdos, which you've got to imagine is the good Zapdos. Now, there was one in Hidden Fates. I'm assuming it's not going to be that one, because that one's not good. I really hope it's not that one. Plus, it feels like this is a bit too close to Hidden Fates for Hidden Fates cards to be in it, if that makes any sense. So, okay, now we're getting a couple copies of Zapdos, and Zapdos is amazing, and Zapdos is a really expensive card. This is phenomenal. Now, we do have Heracross in here as well. Now, there are a couple of Heracross it could be. It could be the one from Unified Minds, a fighting type, or it could be the grass type from Lost Thunder. I would imagine it's the grass one from Lost Thunder, because this is a grass/lightning deck, and it does more damage if you've got stage 2s on the bench, and this is a deck which is made to revolve around the stage 2 Magnezone, so I cannot promise you it's the one from Lost Thunder, but I feel very confident that it is the one from Lost Thunder. And then there's 1 copy of Zeraora. And with it being Zeraora, it seems like a fairly good bet that it is the one from Unbroken Bonds. There was one in Team Up, but the one from Unbroken Bonds does 50 damage for each lightning energy discarded from this Pokemon. So again, you've got just a really, really nice combo going on here with the Magnezone, and you've got to think that that's going to be the reason they include it. So we're not 100% sure, but it looks very much like, in addition to the 2 Rayquaza and the Tapu Koko and the Magnezone, you get 2 of the good Zebstrika and 2 of the good Zapdos. That's awesome. And as we go down through the trainer cards, there's a lot of good stuff here. 2 copies of Acrobike, that sees play in pretty much every speed deck. A copy of Brock's Grit, which is a staple in a lot of decks right now because it's really good Pokemon recovery. 2 copies of Cynthia, which is the best supporter card in the game. 1 copy of Energy Spinner, which is nice for getting your energy out. We've got a copy of Fisherman, which can recover your energy from the discard pile. 2 copies of Erica's Hospitality, which is a very nice draw card. Sees a little bit less play now than it does, but it still gets into a bunch of decks. 2 copies of Lily, which along with Cynthia is the other best draw card in the game. We've got 3 copies of Pokemon Communication, which sees play in a huge amount of decks for finding your Pokemon. 3 copies of Pokemon Fan Club, which is nice for getting your basics out, though it doesn't see a huge amount of play. 2 copies of Rare Candy, which is a staple in every Stage 2 deck, although honestly we would prefer to have 4. That is one of the very few missteps I think we've got here. You kind of need 4 Rare Candy. 3 copies of Switch, which it's been out forever, literally, it's very good. 2 copies of Tate and Liza, which is a very nice draw supporter, can also be a Switch, sees a huge amount of play. And 2 copies of Volkner, which is an absolute staple in every Lightning deck. So even if we only look at the great cards here, 2 Acrobite, 1 Brock's Grit, 2 Cynthia, couple of Lily, couple of Rare Candy, couple of Tate and Liza, couple of Volkner, I mean, this is great. I don't think this deck you're going to be able to take it to a tournament and instantly start winning, but I do believe very strongly that it is a very, very good deck where you're going to get a lot of good staples moving forward. And if we go into the Ultra Necrozma deck, we see a similar level of awesomeness. Now, obviously, we've got 2 copies of Ultra Necrozma. That is who the deck is built around. And we correctly predicted that the Prism Star of choice here is going to be Beast Energy. Lets you do a bit of extra damage. I'm fairly sure that was my prediction. Now, if we have a look at the rest of the Pokemon line, we've got a free line of Malamar. Malamar is one of the very best archetypes in the format. Has been pretty much since it came out, probably will continue to be so. So starting off with a free Malamar line is wonderful. Now, we do have a couple copies of Baynet here, a 2/2 line of Baynet, which pretty much has to be the one from Celestial Storm, because it's literally the only legal Baynet. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may put a basic from your opponent's discard pile onto their bench. And then for each of your opponent's Pokemon in play, put 1 damage counter on your opponent's Pokemon in any way that you like. It's not a phenomenal card, it doesn't really see any serious play, but it's kind of cool to have it out there. It's not going to be the highlight of the deck. And there's 2 copies of Dunsparce, which I'm imagining are the really good one from Celestial Storm, whereby you can search your deck for free basic Pokemon, bench them, and then flip to the bench. Firstly, it makes sense in a deck like this where you need to get your basics because of Malamar, and secondly, it's the only legal Dunsparce, and these look like tournament legal decks. And then we get into really kind of territory, because we've got 2 copies of Giratina, which you've got to imagine is the really good one from Lost Thunder, the one which is an absolute staple in every Malamar deck. It's phenomenal. There was a Giratina that came out in Unified Minds, which lets you discard a special energy from your opponent's active, but they cannot give us 2 Giratina in a Malamar deck and not have it be the one from Lost Thunder. That would be cruel, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot believe that's happening. And then 2 copies of Jirachi. Jirachi is one of the very, very best cards in the entire game right now. And it's got to be the amazing one from Team Up, because there just aren't any other tournament legal Jirachi right now, and every other card here is tournament legal. So you know it's got to be that good Jirachi. And I'm going to be blunt with you, buying a copy of this deck is worth it for the 2 Jirachi. I went and looked at a bunch of well-known sites, trying to find a Jirachi for less than $30 is basically impossible. Over on PokemonCenter.com, this deck retails for $20. That's right. with everything else you get, and the free line of Malamar, the 2 Ultra Necrozma, the Beast Energy, these are great cards. This is 2/3 of the price of 1 Jirachi, and you get 2. And the great thing is, this is going to bring down the price of Jirachi. Even if you don't buy the deck, this is going to bring down the price of Jirachi. The Rayquaza deck is good, but honestly, if somebody offered you 2 Jirachi for $20, you should take it. That's a great deal. With everything else, it's just ridiculous. And if we go for the other cards in this, if we have a look at the trainer cards, once again, we got a couple of Acrobike, we got a couple of Cynthia, we got a Brock's Grit, we got a couple of Erica's Hospitality, a couple of Lily. But then we get 2 copies of a Skateboard, which obviously you need for your Jirachi. Jirachi's ability, look to the top 5 cards of your deck, put a trainer card in your hand, it goes to sleep. That's why it's so good. A Skateboard reduces the retreat cost by 1 and lets you retreat while asleep. It's an absolute must. And then you get 2 copies of Mysterious Treasure. Sorry, 3 copies of Mysterious Treasure. Which again is an absolute staple in every Psychic and Dragon deck because it's amazing Pokemon search. You then get your couple Pokemon Communication, your couple Pokemon Fan Club, couple copies of Sightseer. We've got a couple copies of Switch, which again is pretty good, couple Tate and Liza, and 2 copies of Viridian Forest, which again is a phenomenal stadium card that's seeing a huge amount of play right now. Discard a card from your hand, search for a basic energy. Sees a lot of play in Mewtwo and Mew decks, seen some play in Malamar decks. It's a great card, it sees a lot of play. I mean, this is ridiculous. It would be beyond impossible right now to try and pick up these cards for $20. That's just not even likely. If you go and buy 2 of these, then you get your playset of Jirachi, and a playset of Cynthia, a playset of Lily, Mysterious Treasure, Pokemon Communication, Viridian Forest, all of which are just out-and-out staples in a huge amount of decks. Now, as a side note, it has been confirmed that the alternate art cards are Tate and Liza and Sightseer, which means looking at previous Japanese sets, we can see that these are the alternate artworks. They're kind of cool, right? But honestly, this is not the time to be getting excited about alternate artworks. These decks are better than I hoped. Like when we saw what they were going to be and we were told tournament levels, trainers and all of that, and you were going to get 2 GXs and a Prism Star, they sounded good. But when you look at the deck lists, and seriously, I don't often tell you to go out and buy products, and I can't tell you what to do, but if you don't have Jirachi, run and buy the Ultra Necrozma deck as fast as you can. This is by far the best way to do so. These decks are out and out phenomenal. Huge shout out to Pokemon for being awesome. Because seriously, these products are amazing, and whoever made these products and did the deck list, they deserve a hearty pat on the back and a very large hug. So I'm pretty over the top impressed, but I'd like to know how you feel. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WasiPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching a very excitable PTCG Radio.